Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. We come to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer. Well, I hope you had a wonderful holiday this past week. I know I did. I was able to get together with some of my family, and we just kicked back and laughed and did the normal stuff. And nobody got into it, and it was just a lovely, lovely time. In our case, we had to go up to Las Vegas because we have a daughter up there. And it was just really, really good to look at life and in a normal perspective. This show is brought to you by an organization called Million Kids. It's millionkids.org. Our logo, our motto is keeping kids safe from predators. And that's what I normally do day in and day out, morning, noon, and night, it seems like. But it was just great to step back and have some real life. And one of the things that I wanted to share is, haven't you just been blown away by how beautiful the sunsets have been this past week? Everything is just so pink and red at night. It's just fabulous to see. And the moon is just huge and it feels wonderful. And I've really, really been enjoying that. But now it's back to work. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you is that I am very, very excited about a new program that we're starting in January of this year. It's actually already getting started. We're already kind of getting the kinks out of it, but I'm very excited about it. You see, this organization, Million Kids, that brings you this show, our logo, keeping kids safe from predators. And that means a lot of things. I mean, we do a lot of prevention kind of thing where we go out and talk to kids in schools and foster care kids and like that. But we also train a huge amount of adults like police and fire department, school officials, counselors, therapists, advocates of all kind, emergency personnel and like that. Because when kids, get themselves in trouble, it is those kinds of people that are going to be involved. And so we want people to understand what this is all about. But the new program that we're about to start is just over the moon exciting to me. We were very fortunate in that we had one of our great supporters, a family foundation that came forward and offered us money for a piece of equipment. Usually that isn't how it works. They don't normally come forward with a piece of equipment. But we've been able to invest in a piece of equipment that is going to be shared by three of us. We're being trained on it. And it really is, it's called Data Pilot. And it's really all about social media analysis and also cell phone forensics. And why is that important? Well, a lot of our work takes place because kids either get themselves in trouble online, they're being blackmailed, maybe they start to drop out of school, or they start to run away. And so the purpose of this program this equipment is to help parents be able to do a social media analysis. Most parents really don't know their children. And I would share with you, in fact, I have a good friend that's helping me with this, Linda Berg-Herring. Linda is a private investigator. She's been working and helping locate kids and help parents and kids who are in trouble. And she's helping me spearhead this. And she does a talk that you may find interesting, and for an organization you belong to, that is called How Well Do You Know Your Child? And it is always a fascinating thing because we deal with a lot of missing and runaway kids. And one of the first questions is, what social media are they on? Well, the parents are usually able to come up with one or two. Do you have their password? Do you have their username? Do you know who they're talking to? Do you know what they wore today when they went off to school? Were they in a good mood or a bad mood? Were they concerned about certain things? What is going on in their life? Who did they hang out with? It is really fascinating how few parents really know their child. And so the purpose of this equipment that we're doing is to be able to, if you have a phone, be able to do a cell phone forensics of it. Now, there are privacy concerns, so you have to be a parent of a minor to be able to do that. But there are often cases that we get involved in where adults are being violated, where they've been in some sort of relationship where they sent a nude photo or maybe a promiscuous kind of photo, and it's now appearing online. And you're being blackmailed. And so this equipment, with your permission, and there is a fee for it, to be able to do it. But this equipment can run your cell phone forensics, number one, to see really where all your communication is going. You see, a lot of times in communication, you think you're working on one app, but it's being invaded by another app or shared. The data is being shared by an app. So in those cases, you can do a social media analysis, or that can tell you everybody that you're connected to and in what apps and where all your information is going. And, you can also secure a service where we do a complete cell phone forensics for you, where you can see all the connections and all the data that is going out there. And nowadays, with the way that data is shared between apps, that is a very real kind of thing. So we're going to be starting this service, and I'm very, very excited about it. I think we'll also offer it out for adults who are in romance scams. There is a huge amount of that going on. I teach a class in romance scams, and it's very, very important because especially older men and women, but anybody can be involved in a romance scam at any age. And what we'll do on that is your social media analysis that you would secure that service. We could take the photo of the person that you're involved with that might be asking for money. If you're involved romantically online with someone and they're asking for money, you need to first shut the thing down and get out of there, because it ain't love, baby. It is, the truth of the matter is that you're probably being scammed, and we all want to be loved, and all of us want to believe that we're smart enough to figure it out, but quite frankly, we aren't. I highly recommend that if you're an adult, and especially if you met online, that you run some sort of social media analysis to see all the places that person's photo shows up and how many different names does it show up under, and what else is going on about that person that you might need to know. And are they in fact connected with other people that you're not aware of? So this social media analysis service and also the cell phone forensic service, I'm very, very excited. We're just now being trained. We have the equipment. We're learning to use it. And we're going to start at the first of the year with 3 of us being trained and offer that service. The main reason we wanted this capability is because we operate Million Kids Missing Kids, and that's what I want to talk about the rest of the show today. Is what happens when kids run away, and what is the Million Kids Missing Kids program, and why do we need it? We're going to talk a little bit about why kids go missing, and then what happens to kids who actually run away. There's some interesting statistics. One of the reasons I started Million Kids Missing Kids, and we did this back in, I think 2014 is when I first developed the program. I'm making that up, but I think I'm right. Anyway, is because when a kid disappears, okay, what happens? Literally, you go to the police department and you file a report. But in Riverside City alone, there are on average 600 kids a month that disappear. 600 kids a month. Just imagine throughout Riverside County and all the other towns like Moreno Valley or Hemet or San Bernardino or Victorville. There's a huge number of kids that disappear. And so a parent will fill out that form and then they go home, and then what? And this is the reason why we developed Million Kids Missing Kids. So a parent can go online once they have filed the police report. We must have a police report to do this, and fill out our form, and we will create for you flyers that you can send to all of your friends, and we will send it out to about 15,000 people locally that will assist us in keeping an eye out for that missing child. So I'm very excited about this program, and I want to tell you all about it in the next segment. But the truth is, folks, we are up against that break, so stay with us. We're going to be right back.
Are you tired of eating at the same old restaurants? Let me tell you about a fabulous Italian restaurant we found in Riverside, Mamma Mia's Italian Restaurant. Their caprese salad is exquisite with candied balsamic glaze. All of their sauces are special recipes using only the best olive oils. The salads are fresh and healthy. They offer a wonderful array of pastas, including shrimp scampi, capellini, bolognese, and lasagna. They're famous for their gourmet pizza, and you can order online for takeout or have a special date for dining in with family and friends. Mamma Mia's caters special occasions and hosts private events. You have to try it out. Mamma Mia's Italian Restaurant, located at 10971 Magnolia Avenue in Riverside, 1 block north of La Sierra on Magnolia. That's Mamma Mia's in Riverside. Be sure to tell Michael, Alex, or Joseph you heard it on AM 590 The Answer.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of millionkids.org. I believe the 4 most powerful words on earth are I believe in you. So we created a challenge coin that says I believe in you on one side and stand tall, you are loved on the other side. This one-of-a-kind challenge coin is a perfect gift for birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, Christmas presents, or just an anytime gift for someone you love. What a powerful message for a parent or a grandparent to give to a young person. This 2-inch coin is made of polished gold. It's striking to look at, and it is priceless to hold. It is packaged in a beautiful black velvet gift box. What a great way to leave a legacy of love that will last forever. To purchase this coin, go to millionkids.org/gallery. Each coin is $25. Go to millionkids.org/gallery to purchase and give a legacy of love.
Real estate sales in the Inland Empire are really hot. Sean and Colleen at Caldwell Banker Armstrong Properties in Riverside are proud to sponsor this show. They are the best in the Inland Empire. They're fair, honest, creative, and they care about you and your situation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Sean and Colleen at 951-529-4066.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton, and we are talking about when kids go missing, why they go missing, and what we can do about that. So why do kids run away? Well, I did some research. I certainly know from my own experience because I get involved a lot of times when a parent has a child that has gone missing. I started the program because what I realized is when a child goes missing, that is probably one of the most terrifying moments of a parent's life. Because poof, they're gone. You don't know where they are. You don't know, are they in Las Vegas? Maybe they're in Los Angeles. Maybe they're at a friend's house. Maybe they went to Tijuana. Where did they go? And then how do you connect with them so that you can get them back? So you fill out a police report. And to be fair with the police, there are literally hundreds of these reports every month. And really and truly, a larger portion of the kids who run away do return. But how do you know why they ran away? And also which ones are going to return and which ones are not? And that's the reason why we ask police departments to refer them to us so that a parent can go online and fill out that form and tell us everything they can about their child. And we will send them the flyer, and we will send the flyers out to all of you. Now, one of the things that you as the public can do to help in this matter is simply go to millionkids.org, not .com, that's the rock band. Go to millionkids.org and sign up for our newsletter. Now, once in a while, I'll beg for money, but I'm not very good at it. So you're fairly safe, you know. But the idea there is that we form a network throughout all of Southern California to keep eyes out for these missing and runaway child and to support the parents. So if you're in charge of a youth group or you're in charge of a organization, maybe a sorority or a soroptimist or Rotary, sign yourself up and ask every member of your organization to sign up to receive these flyers so that we can get a larger distribution for this. Because once the parent has the child missing, they don't know what to do. And by getting these flyers out, that helps a lot. And it also helps the parent have some sense that they're able to do something. So, why do kids go missing? Well, sometimes they're not happy at home. Maybe they've had a major disagreement with the parents, or maybe what's going on at home really isn't pleasant for that child. Maybe they just have some different ideas and they feel quite independent and they want to go try that out. But one of the things we need to do is talk to our kids about what happens to kids who run away. And I do believe that that's really, really important. I saw some statistics I wanted to share with you. About 1 out of 10 young people at runaway or homeless youth shelters have traded sex for food, a place to stay, or other things. About 1 out of 3 young people who live on the streets have done this. Teens who run away have higher rates of depression, alcohol, and drug problems. They may be hurting and not know how to tell you that they're hurting, which is why they're turning to these things. 1 out of 4 young people who live on the street have a serious health problem in the last year. And as I said earlier, the statistics from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children say that 1 out of 6 kids who run away will engage in sex for money within the first 48 hours that are out there. So one of the first problems is that when kids run away, they don't really understand what they're running to. And I do believe that that's an important conversation for parents to have in a more neutral situation, not after the kid has decided to run away, but sit and talk with kids and say, you know, running away is not going to solve your problem. Your problem will still be there. You're just going to have more problems and you're going to have less resources to solve it. And it's really about teaching kids solid decision-making skills. So a lot of kids run away because they're not happy at home, or maybe they are being sexually abused at home. That is an important discussion to have within your family is if you have a child that wants to run away, what is the reality of your home life? Is it really conducive to inclusion? Helping kids feel safe and okay there and included and loved and liked and that they are valuable to you as a family. I often say that as a family, that is the most important gift that you can give a child is that sense of being proud of being part of the family structure and proud of who they are. Sometimes kids run away because they're starting to get involved with drugs or they're hanging out with the wrong crowd. And you need to take note of that if that is happening. Maybe counseling's in order, maybe honest conversation, maybe a change in their day-to-day life. If they're starting to use drugs, it's never going to get any better. Do not look the other way. You need to take that thing on right now, because kids that are involved in drug use will end up being sexually abused at some point. Foster kids, just a huge, huge issue for foster kids. Million Kids runs the Million Kids Missing Kids program. And we also work with DPSS here in Riverside County so that we can represent kids that are missing to help them find a path back home, a path back to their security or safety, and a place in which they can thrive and not have to run away. Most oftentimes, when a kid disappears, they've met someone online. And this is why I'm so excited about our cell phone forensics and our social media analysis service, because you'll see a child that meets someone online and they change their behavior. I wrote a book called Seduce, The Grooming of America's Teenager. They're getting a fantasy relationship. And, you're starting to argue with them all the time. You're not arguing with her and you're not arguing with the boyfriend. You're arguing with that fantasy he's creating in you. And once a parent gets in a tug of war with a fantasy, they're going to lose if they don't know how to help that young person get back to reality and unpack that fantasy. We all want what we want, and teenagers are especially vulnerable because they're hormonal and they're uncertain, and they found somebody who really thinks they're hot, and they're going to hang on to it because all of us want to be loved. We want to be admired. We wanted to be accepted. And we want to know that we're attractive and can attract someone else. And so once you start down that path of getting in that tug of war, it's really important to start to talk about cognitive decision making and what is reality and what do we know about that person really, and helping them unpack that. And so that is one of the reasons why I'm excited about this, because as our kids get involved in this kind of thing, we need to know who they're talking to. We need to know the reality of who they're interacting with. Is it really somebody who's 16, or are they 32 and a pedophile? Are they living down the street, or are they living out of state and this kid is involved in maybe sending off erotic photos and they're afraid of being caught? Maybe a young man or young lady is being blackmailed and they think that they're going to go out and meet up with someone to negotiate the return of that photo. Parents, I cannot tell you how prevalent that is. That is why we're starting this new service specifically for parents, because we want to know if they disappear, who are they talking to? Hopefully, you'll know who they're talking to before and they don't disappear. But that is one of the most prevalent kinds of situations that we find today, is young people get online and they get catfished. And it can end terribly, as we all know from many of the cases right here locally. In a couple of cases, it's actually ended up in murder or in rape, or actually the child missing for a very long time, and sometimes they never return. So in these cases, one of the things that we're looking for is this child involved in some sort of online fantasy relationship where they sneak out? And most of these kids never intend to disappear. They just simply are curious to see if this guy or girl is exactly like they think. And also they're wanting to show this guy or girl how hot they are. And so they are anxious to meet up. Their idea is they're going to just meet up and everybody's going to have a good time and everybody's going to go home. But too many times in these cases, that kid never comes back. And that's when missing kids starts to get involved. This is Opal Singleton. It's break time, so stay with us. We're going to be right back.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift, Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton. I'm the president and CEO of millionkids.org. Been this way for like 13 years, and people ask me sometimes when I'm out to dinner, and I'm a real hoot at a dinner party. Nobody wants to know what I do for a living, but anyway, but they'll say, "Is it getting better?" I see you beating your head against the wall, and I've been doing this for a very, very long time. Actually, it's not getting better. I think that I often feel like that we're taking on a tsunami with a teaspoon, because the changes of California law has changed everything. The amount of technology out there has changed everything. And we have open borders that changes everything. And so it is taking on a life of its own. So what I'm referring to here is the crimes of sextortion and social media exploitation, as well as sex trafficking. So one of the reasons that kids disappear is they get groomed by a pimp or a bottom girl. And what do I mean by that? What happens is a kid will go to school, and they will meet another girl. 60% of kids that are caught up in sex trafficking were recruited by another girl. It's usually a gang girl, and these gang guys. And what they'll do is they'll use their young men on these dating sites, and the girls are playing around on the dating and hookup sites, and it looks like love in all the wrong places. I think that's a country music song. Anyway, it looks like love to them. They fall in love, and they literally begin to think this is the real deal. And that's exactly how sex trafficking will start. And it is absolutely heartbreaking. Now, more kids are violated online from interacting with someone they don't know than kids that are actually being trafficked. But if you get a young person that is caught up as a victim of sex trafficking, it is just deadly. I mean, it is just awful. And this is why I do what I do. It'll start out, the girl probably goes on Instagram and falls in love with some tattoo, or they're thinking they're talking to some hot guy. And the next thing you know, they will find a way to meet up with this girl. And this girl very quickly disappears. And what has happened is that once they get the girl to show up, and it's mostly girls in this case, by the way, then it gets really bad. They do what is called breaking. I'm not going to go into that on the air because this is a family show, but it changes their life forever. Okay, it becomes they are no longer the same person that you once knew, because they want this person to understand that they never again will be free, and that they are owned by this gang or whoever is doing this. And they move these girls out of the area almost immediately. And that is the main reason I started Million Kids Missing Kids way back in 2014, is to begin to help parents find out where their child went. Because if you get caught up in one of these sex trafficking rings, almost always they'll take you out of the area. Maybe Fresno, maybe Ventura, maybe Las Vegas, maybe down by the border. And so that is when we see a case like this that we ask law enforcement, sorry about that, to ask law enforcement to very quickly get involved, because these cases are very serious. If that girl is caught up in one of these cases, that is another reason that we started Million Kids Missing Kids, is to get those flyers out there very, very quickly. Because if we can find her before she's been involved in sex trafficking very long, her odds are much greater about being able to get back. And so that is a lot of how sex trafficking works. And, there's so many movies and documentaries out there that make you think that they come along and kidnap the kid off the street. Well, I'm not saying it won't happen, but most of the time it looks like a relationship that started online or at the mall or someplace, and poof, they are gone. And that is the value of Me and Kids Missing Kids. You say, well, how big an area does this cover? It actually covers the whole United States because I'm a national speaker. And I travel across the U.S. and speak, but I also go heavily throughout California, especially the areas where there's a lot of trafficking, such as Fresno and Bakersfield and up by Ventura and over by L.A. And so this is really, really important at this point to be able to offer this service for a parent. It's also important for a parent to pay attention that if a child is changing, if they're being lured into that kind of situation, they will change fairly quickly. Suddenly they will come home with a lot of bling, or maybe they're not being rational in their relationship. They're not asking the important questions. They're not willing to bring the new boyfriend home so that they can meet usually. It's usually taking place where they're skipping school, and especially if another girl is involved. So pay attention to all that. That's why we run Me and Kids Missing Kids. If we can find these kids early on before they really get into the hard part of sex trafficking, then in those cases, it can be very, very helpful. So I'm very excited about this new service that we're operating here because we can offer all kinds of programs like that now to help families intervene. So one of the things I want to talk about running away is almost every kid you'll ever talk to has thought about running away once. But most kids don't follow through with it. Maybe they're trying to avoid responsibility, or they're trying to avoid something that's horrible about to happen in their mind, like a test at school that you don't know the answer and you're going to flunk. Every one of us have wanted to run away. I thought about running away about 6 o'clock this morning, quite frankly, when I looked at my day and all that I was trying to accomplish. I thought, what am I doing? All of us want to avoid responsibility. I think it's important to have that conversation with your kids. We all have situations that just look horrible, absolutely horrible. You say to yourself, oh my gosh, that person's going to hate me, or I screwed this up bad, and that they're never going to speak to me again, or I'm going to be publicly humiliated or something. We all have those fears, and it's important to talk about that with kids and let them know that nothing they can do will change the way you feel about them, that you want to teach them good decision-making skills. And the reason for that is every time you make a decision, it has a cost to it. And that is true of all of us, true of me, true of you. And some costs are higher than others, and some decisions are higher than others. And that teaching your child to make those good cognitive judgments is really part of maturity, being able to analyze the situation and say, okay, this is right, this is wrong, or I screwed this up and I'm going to straighten it out. And it's really important, I think, to teach our kids that there's nothing they can do there that is going to take away your love from them. Now, having said that, I also think you need to look at your life and lifestyle for your children. And, think about the amount of restrictions and domination and like that is going on there. Kids need room to make decisions and then decide whether or not that was a healthy decision. And next time, if that didn't work out, you'll make a different decision. But I do think that it has to do with, humor and a dialogue between each other. One of the things that kids often run away is because they're not getting what they want. Well, in some cases, they shouldn't get what they want. In other cases, we need to talk about it. Sometimes kids make bad choices, and we have to talk about, the consequences. It might not be as bad as you think it is, but would you make a different choice next time? all of us don't deliberately make bad choices. And yet, many people are seduced into making bad choices. So many of our teenagers, few of our teenagers really are able to recognize the risks involved, especially the decision to run away. And that needs to be talked about what are the risks for running away? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to get your money? How are you going to finish school? How are you going to support yourself if you don't finish school? How are you going to buy food for yourself? Who are you going to be with? And are you going to be safe with them? Talk about the risks of running away, and also talk about the joy of overcoming adversity and being successful and winning by deciding that you're going to stay here and you're going to find the solutions. Life is about problem solving. It doesn't matter if you're 3 years old or 30 years old or 90 years old. It's about problem solving. It is break time, folks, so stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited: Crimes and Technology. I want to tell you about a book I wrote called Seduced: The Grooming of America's Teenagers. It's all about how predators access, groom, recruit, and exploit our young people using social media, online gaming, video chat rooms. Technology is changing at the speed of light, and we have to understand how to keep our kids safe from predators. So you can get this book by going to www.millionkids.org. It's $16. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you personally. We hope that you will order this book, educate yourself about how to keep our kids safe in this day of changing technology. Join us each Saturday for our radio show at Exploited: Crimes and Technology at 3 o'clock on AM 590, The Answer.
Custom Service Systems, a proud supporter of Million Kids, is a family-owned and operated commercial cleaning company servicing the Inland Empire and surrounding areas since 1974. CSS takes pride in their ability to maintain the business facilities they serve and their long-lasting relationships with their valued clients. CSS provides a variety of cleaning systems customized to client needs, including deep cleaning and disinfectant to be COVID-19 compliant. From basic office cleaning to windows and floors, CSS will clean up your mess so you don't have to stress. Custom Service Systems cares about families and communities and wants to give back. Custom Service Systems are proud supporters of Million Kids to keep kids safe from predators. If you need the best cleaning services for your business or corporation, contact Custom Service Systems at cssclean.com. Again, cssclean.com, or call 951-781-9345. That's 951-781-9345. You will know you found the best. Custom Service Systems.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited: Crimes and Technology. Let me tell you about my friend Doris Anderson at Remax Realty in Upland. She is amazing. She's kind, she's patient, but she listens. And she's informed, and she will help you with your real estate transaction in a way that works for you. Doris, in full disclosure, often supports the work of Million Kids because she cares about young people. But she knows how to analyze a market, how to market a property, and how to find just the right transaction for both buyers and sellers. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate or invest in income property, contact Doris Anderson at Remax Realty, 951-733-8899. That's 951-733-8899. 951-733-8899.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited: Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton. We're talking about this new service that we're about to offer, and I'm just over the moon excited about it. I'm so grateful to the foundation that gave us the funding for the money to buy this equipment. I think it will take our services to a whole new level. So what we're talking about is being able to provide phone service forensics. For instance, if you have to have responsibility for the child. In other words, you are the parent or the guardian in order to be able to check a child's phone. But we can also check your own phone. And that's very, very important if you're involved in, for instance, a romance scam or something like that. We also do social media analysis. And I highly recommend that. I highly recommend that if you're, especially on a dating site and you met somebody new and you want to know more about them. Are they appearing in other dating sites? Are they using other names? Are they showing up where they have a family life you don't know about, that kind of thing? So that's a social media analysis service that you can actually hire and procure. And we're going to be doing that through Million Kids to stop a lot of these romance scams. But the other reason that we mainly are doing it is because of Million Kids Missing Kids and all the kids that are literally running away and they disappear and parents are just out of their mind. This has become so much of a bigger problem since I started Million Kids Missing Kids almost 10 years ago, because social media has become extremely complex and most parents have no idea about who their child is interacting with, what is being said, what is being sent, and like that. And as a parent, it is your phone. You're saying that you agree to the terms. You need to know what your child is doing, especially if your child is having problems with drug abuse or starting to run away or has, in fact, ran away and you don't know where they're at. So we're really excited about offering that service. If your child is thinking of running away, or if they have run away and come back, sit down and have some honest conversation. Are there things that we can do to improve this situation at home? Can we make life more comfortable, more easy? Or, in fact, can we help this individual if they're not able to meet their responsibilities? Can we take a look at the responsibilities and see what can be done? What would make it okay for them to stay at home? And where are they? Talk to your child. Where are they going to stay if they leave? And that is really important, that they understand and they don't make knee-jerk reactions. Again, this comes back to that cognitive decision processes where you're able to project out what's going to happen when you do this. So one of the things that I highly recommend is that if you find yourself in a situation where a child is really struggling to deal with their responsibilities, or they don't want to deal with reality, or they don't feel safe in their environment, is what can we do to make it safe, number one? And number two, let's talk about the decision skills and do it in more neutral tone, because it is very possible that they can't deal with the conflict that is going on within the home and that they want to get away from that conflict. But what they're going to encounter out on the street is a whole lot worse. So if it's a matter of a child just not fitting in, that's one whole different discussion than if it's a matter of a child that's met someone online and believes that whatever that person is going to give them is going to be far superior from what they have at home. Those are two different scenarios. If you have a situation where your child seems to be in some unrealistic relationship, a fantasy relationship, I highly recommend that you contract out and do a social media analysis of that child's interactions. You're the parent, you have the right to do that. And I highly recommend that you do that because you want to know who your child's talking to and what kinds of situations are they in. A lot of times what has happened is they've sent some photo and they're fearful of what's going to happen. Sometimes they are not unhappy, but what has happened is they've sent a photo and they're being blackmailed and they want to get out there and talk to that person and talk them into returning the photo. That happens many, many times these days, where kids never mean to disappear. They simply want to be able to negotiate back the return of something, and they go out and meet up with them. I cannot tell you the number of times that I've spoken at groups with young people in them, and I'll talk about all of this, and a young girl or guy will come up to me and go, I'm being blackmailed and I was about to go meet up with them, but maybe I shouldn't. You're absolutely right. You should not, because you will end up being physically violated. What you need to do is take all that documentation and go directly to your police department and talk to the cyber crimes unit and ask them to help you, because your life could be in danger and the life of your family could be in danger. So there's all kinds of scenarios, but this is why we formed Million Kids, Missing Kids. And this is why I'm so excited about the new equipment that we have and the new services we're going to offer, so that in the appropriate time and place, we don't want to violate anybody's privacy, but in a place where a parent is involved and they own the phone and has the right, we can do those kinds of social media analysis. And if you're in a situation where literally you need the phone analyzed, we can also do cell phone forensics. So it's all starting to come together for January 2024 with our new service. And I'm very, very excited about it. I want to thank each and every one of you that donate to support the work of Million Kids. We're coming on the end of the year, so there will be an end of the year push for donations. All of us do it. Anybody that's in the nonprofit world do that, because we live at your generosity. It is simply that way. I don't have a Bill Gates Foundation behind me, so never did want to, quite frankly. We're a small organization, but we're mighty, and we're very involved within the Inland Empire of helping keep kids safe from predators by prevention and intervention, whatever it takes, so that people understand these changes that are going on. With all the new laws that are out there, and mostly because of the big technology transformation, this is going to get worse before it gets better. We're wading through a whole lot of technology changes, and unfortunately, we're going to lose some kids along the way. But every kid we get a chance to save, we're going to save. And we do that by literally training you and training them, and also being able to provide services like this for those that made the decisions that put themselves in danger. And that is at the point where we get involved to try to see what we can do to bring a child back, or get the kid counseling, or report it to the police departments. The real reality of this is these pedophiles that are violating our kids, they never have just one victim. They literally have lots and lots. Some of them have hundreds of victims where they're collecting money, collecting more photos, and more often than not, they'll want to meet up with your child. So this is the reason to have that hard discussion with your child about meeting someone online and making sure they never go out to meet up with someone they met online. If you follow Million Kids at millionkids.org, you will see case after case after case of how that turned out badly. And they really ought to share those cases together with your children so they understand exactly how this works. It is never good to go out and meet up with someone you met online. It is not good. And that is the scary part about this. That is why we're offering this service, but that is also why we educate and train for prevention and intervention. I hope you'll go to millionkids.org and sign up for our newsletter. We have a private Facebook page if you want to sign up for that. That's Million Kids Supporters on Facebook. If you're on there, you have to be admitted, because that's where I do personalized training based on the latest cases. But they're cases that you can share with your children, and you can talk about it and say, what do you think about this? What do you think the kid was thinking? Who do you think this person is? And more important, what do you think is going to happen to that person if they actually meet up with them? So this is Opal Singleton. This show is Exploited Crimes and Technology. It's brought to you by millionkids.org. I hope you will follow us. I hope you support our work. You can do that by going to millionkids.org riverside.org/donate. And there, right there on that side is also our P.O. box, so you can mail us a check if you want to. Folks, it's the holiday time. Put your arms around your family and let them know how special they are to you. We're going to see you next Saturday at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590.
This message is all about Million Kids, the organization that helps locate missing kids throughout Southern California and educates to keep kids safe from predators. Million Kids educates school administrators, teachers, parents, and teenagers how predators identify a potential victim and the methods they use to recruit innocent kids. BMW of Riverside is a proud supporter of Million Kids. Visit BMW of Riverside at the Adams Street exit off the 91 freeway or click bmwofriverside.com.